where no one else has gone before, so you don't know what you are going to see. The perception is different, everything is different. Failure, of course, I failed like so many times before the record, but do you think failure is actually the opposite of success? Yes or no? Is it opposite? No, it's not the opposite of success. It's actually the other side of success. If everyone is pretty, where beauty will not exist. So you have to experience what is the difference, you know, like the opposite, to understand and to appreciate what you actually have here. So everything was a learning process to me and for my team as well. So as I told you, psychological preparation is like isolating myself in a bubble, and this bubble is like very flexible, can accept any kind of modifiers, but nothing penetrates in this bubble itself. So everything was accommodated for me. So I have to accept everything and nothing affect my actual myself. I had many challenges. I mean, like, because at the beginning it wasn't a record itself. I mean, like, I was just testing limits. I mean, like, I always believe people are different, and then what applies on me, it cannot apply on other people as well. And that was, I was just having interesting conversation with my friends yesterday at dinner, you know. So I mean, like, some people, their reactions are different, their hormones are different, their metabolic rate regarding to any other pathologies are different, you know. Even the emotions are different as well. I mean, like, some people are very reactional, very emotional, so they can just flip right away. And some other people, if you throw him from the top of this building, it's gonna take days, you know, to reach the bottom. You know, I'm one of those guys, you know. So I mean, like, I always think, I mean, like, can I actually think to do such a thing or not? I emailed Guinness World. It wasn't a record at the beginning, so it was testing limit. And then I finally emailed Guinness Book of Records. And then I had a rumor before, like, they don't accept these kind of records. However, they accepted, like 6 months after they accepted my application, and they had to send me a very strict guidelines and a very strict rules to apply during that. Some of them, they are very challenging regarding to the measuring methodology. As the measuring methodology that they required from me, I had to get a calibration certificate from the manufacturer. I tried, I mean, like, I had few computers with me, I mean, like, and then I tried to contact all the manufacturers around the industry. I mean, like, no one was able to give me a certificate. I mean, like, one of them, they were rated even to 350 meter. I mean, like I said, can it actually read 350 meter? And then silence, no one responded to me. And that was needed, otherwise it's not gonna be officiated by Guinness, by the official in the Guinness Book of Records. And then we had to find an alternative after that. So we contacted the National Institute of Standards, and I figured out, like, I cannot contact the institute in Cairo University by myself. So I have to contact other external body, or like a professional body, to contact this institute. So we imported a rope. This rope, it came from France. Oh, it's not moving. So this rope is imported from France, and then it's been tested. We had a problem with this rope. I mean, like, we need to change, we need to know everything. I mean, like, this rope, it has to be officiated by the National Institute of Standards. So we had many problems with the rope. The rope extension, rope extension was very important as well, because it's a static rope anyway, but if you put it in the water, with the water temperature, everything will change. The rope characteristics itself, it will change completely, you know. So they took it to the measurement and calibration unit in the Cairo University, and then they did few tests on the rope to see exactly what happened. So they measured the rope when it's dry, and then they measured the rope when it's wet, and then the extension and elasticity of the rope when you put the weight on the rope at different depths, you know. And the final weight on the rope, like, was 93 kilograms. And they gave us a report. This report, it tells you the error of each meter and each centimeter of this rope, and then officiated, you know, with the weight on the rope when it's dry and when you put it in the water, and the characteristics change in this rope. This is every meter simply in the rope, and they gave us this graph, and this is officiated by the Ministry of the Ministry of Scientific Research, National Institute of Standards. This is the elasticity of the rope after you put the weight with the tanks on it. Took me as well. It took me, as I told you, like few years to prepare for this record, and then we had to get this rope, and then we had Guinness World Record. They had to hire officials as well, like individual witnesses, like to witness the attempt. One of them is the dean engineer, PhD professor of Cairo University. So he came with the rope to explain the rope to the Guinness World Record adjudicator, and another course director from one of the agencies. And tags as well were very important, and these tags were made. Guinness World Record was in contact with Ministry of Youth and Sports, and they required the tags with specific specification, and that provided to the Guinness World Record adjudicator like one day just before the attempt. These tags actually was a little bit challenging because these tags were already specific. They are signed from two independent witnesses. So one of them made them from the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Two of them, they signed these tags in front of another witness. So they are four right now. And then at the end, Guinness World Record adjudicator, he took these tags and he signed and he stamped these tags by himself. And he was on the rope mounting these tags on the rope just a day before the attempt. And he locked the rope in a container with the dean, the professor of Cairo University. So they locked it up, and then both of them, they have to be present during, both of them has to be present just before the attempt, like to open this container and dangle it in the water by both of them. This is one thing. The other thing, one of the other witnesses, I mean, like as well, he was responsible to be in after the attempt. Like he made sure that he's there, like retrieving the rope by itself, and then take a picture while they are retrieving the rope and make sure that this tag doesn't exist in there, which is also okay. I mean, like it didn't make perfect sense to me because these tags anyways like were very specified, and but anyway, this is what happened. I got the tag. I was planning 350 meter. I couldn't reach 350 meter due to HPNS, and to be honest, I didn't believe in HPNS at all because signs and symptoms, they are very similar to each other, narcosis, toxicity or whatever. However, I started to feel HPNS. I reached the depth of 335 meter, and this is the tag I retrieved from underwater. However, the Guinness World Record adjudicator, he realized an incline in the rope, so deviation. So he went with the engineer to measure the deviation of the rope from vertical, and that wasn't actually important because in the dynamic scale model in the report here already calculated the current calculation. So there was no need to do any of that. So I got the tag of 335 meters. He found the incline. The incline was 7 degrees. So they subtracted 2.65 meters with the auto. They did the problem with AutoCAD and another mathematical calculation. And the final count was 332.35 meters. However, there was no need to do any subtraction from the actual record. There is a movie. Let's watch it. And then I'm going to talk as well just right after the movie. I'm going to just like do some narration during the movie as well.
The question is, why a man just by himself would like to go to such depth? The question is, why?
It actually started with Sam when he approached me and asked me if I would be interested in supporting a friend of his that he'd met, interested in doing the world record. And of course, anytime anyone says, I'm going to do a world record, you got to scoff it off and go, sure, why not? But when you meet the guy, then you realize he's serious. He called me up, he said, yeah, I want to do 350. So my first response was like, have you gone completely crazy?
I delayed my record so many times. That's why people thought I'm an attention seeker, because I delayed, but I didn't care. When the time is right, you have to take the time is right. You can't be a victim of any kind of social obligation here. It's a long time preparation. It's 4 years, like executing your record. Every day was something to do. Every day for me in these 4 years is something to do, till you get closer and closer and closer, till the past 2 months, and then it's real, because at the beginning it was a dream.
You have to realize what are the effects of pressure. I remember being a young research engineer at COMEX, watching a chamber, and the chamber was 700 meters. And I remember I saw a droplet of water, and it went down this way. If the atmosphere is so dense that a droplet of water fall like dead leaf, you realize that breathing gas mixture is extremely difficult, and the rest follows.
If you have any kinds of problem, any kinds of stress, the first thing that will happen, your breathing is going to go out of control. And this is going to happen very, very slowly, and then it will get very quickly until it gets you into panic.
As we go deeper, we'll add more helium, less nitrogen, less oxygen. Oxygen also becomes toxic, okay? And we base it on the partial pressure of oxygen. Without getting in too deep, the deeper we go, the less oxygen can be in our mixture, or it's toxic to our body. You will actually, it becomes basically a poison to you. So we have to reduce the oxygen, increase the helium, and reduce the nitrogen. But we can only do that to a point where there's just too much helium in the system now, and too much helium in your body. So it gives you what's called a high pressure nervous syndrome.
The most difficult part of it will be the 24 hours before the dive, because it doesn't have a full knowledge of what's going to happen. It doesn't have a full control of the situation, because it's going to be alone at the bottom, and he doesn't know what will be the result. So he has to bet on the fact that he will survive. And in fact, to survive, you have to have a strong mental or a strong attitude. You have to believe in things like, I'm going to be an example for the other, I'm going to be an example for my country. You have to have a strong motivation and value. And besides that, you also have to spend 12 hours before the dive, because he was just left by himself and his doubt. And this is why he must be extremely courageous.
This is the record day in the morning. This is 45 minutes just before I entered the water. This is the rope being re-verified again by the Guinness Book of Records, and applying and check the report and the rope itself. It's showing him here the static marks and the dynamic marks after they put the weight on the rope.
150
This is
and the difference between
professor of the university
240.
and the adjudicator from Guinness World Record, that he decided to
Yeah,
come
that's
just
more.
3 days just
Yeah.
before the record.
Because maybe it's stretched with a car.
These tags are stamped under this tape. They requested that they stamp by the Guinness Book of Records stamp, and the adjudicator and the two witnesses as well signature. These are custom-made tanks, 20 liters each, and they hold 250 bars, all of them. So I went with a quad system on my back, one in the middle for inflation and deflation, and four stayed 15 liters. Total tanks of the dive was 93 tanks.
Has she gone yet? She should go now. Go, go, go.
So everything's here, like it's from the head cam of my deepest support diver. I supposedly should have met him like at 110. I met him because he was late, I was early, so I met him at 90 meters. And then the Guinness World Record adjudicator, he requested like to give a specific sign in front of the camera just to make sure that this camera shot, this shot actually has been taken at the moment. So he wanted me to show any of the devices I'm using, you know, just like to show it as a sign and to give this sign 350 as a sign, you know, like to, and show the depth tag I retrieved from underwater to make sure that this shot or this tag is not pre-taken or like not pre-approved. I had to do that. My support diver, I mean, like he just wanted to tell me that in private, but the deepest support diver, he requested that he want to see that so he makes sure that I'm not narked or I'm okay and to know exactly what I'm doing underwater. So he was insisting to do that. Meanwhile, there is something that I didn't know about it. I mean, like the team was preparing 3 pre-prepared slates. You know, one of them is black, yellow, and white. The black one, that means he goes down and he doesn't find me, so that means I'm gone. So they're not gonna look for me because down there was like 600 meters. And then the yellow one, that means he found me, but my medical condition is not okay, and or I didn't achieve the record. So he gonna write what happened, and then he gonna deploy to the surface. And then the white one, that mean with a smiley face, that mean I did it already. And then so he gonna write my physical condition and what happened, I mean, like which depth he found me at, and give more details. I was coughing. I had pulmonary edema somehow. I mean, like I didn't believe in pulmonary edema either. I mean, like till I actually saw it. They kept giving me water, so it made me actually worse. It took some time, and then it went away. But I took few, like couple of years after to recover from my dive. So everyone down here was waiting for the color of I did it. Yes. One thing. Stop again. So I was afraid as well. I mean, like to get the tag.
I'm a fanatic about time. If I've ever hammered anybody, it's about being on time.
I was afraid as well. I mean, like I was afraid. I mean, like I got the tag. I mean, like, so this is simply the record. This is the verified adjudicated tag. So if I get the tag and I drop it off, this is a problem, you know? So, I mean, like, I don't know what am I going to do then? And then I had that because I had the tremors of HPNS. Again, I never believed in HPNS, you know? So, but I had the tremors of HPNS, you know? I mean, like, and then I was about actually to drop it. So I had the tag, and then I wasn't able to open even my the pocket of my dry suit and put it. So, and then finally I got like control again on my extremities, and then I was able to put it, and then I was just touching it and feel it all the time. My second fear, my second nightmare is to give it to my deep support diver, and he drops it off. Then there is no record. So I mean, like, and the choice here, I mean, like, I'm giving it to him, and then he's trying to take it, and then I don't want to give it to him. I mean, like I say, I'm not gonna give it to you. I mean, like, you're gonna see it here right now. I mean, like, this is simply the record thing, you know. So I didn't want to give it to him, and then he was afraid, and then he gave me a zip tie, and then I just put it on his D-ring, and then he took it to the surface, and he didn't want to give it to anyone either because he had the same nightmare. So he had it held it in his mouth, and then given it to the adjudicator to verify the signature and the tag itself. Yes.
Always, we have to be on time because it's critical to his life, and that's the way we live. And I was late, but he was early. But it kind of negated it only because I was ecstatic at the fact that I saw my friend down there, and I didn't have to let everyone else know that he wasn't going to come back, because there was always that risk, and I was going to be the first guy to figure that out. I still haven't emotionally dumped that baggage yet, but I was ecstatic for the fact that he's there.
What's the color? White. White? Yes. Yeah. Whoa! Shut up, please.
Sorry. So again, the journey took me like 13 hours, 50 minutes to decompress. I mean, like, it's I was dehydration is an enemy, so I kept hydrated all the time. So I was drinking 1 liter of water every hour, and I was having like a pack of mashed food, like whether bananas, mashed potatoes, sweet potato as well, like every hour. So that was already studied in the plan, you know, like, so as well. I mean, like, having like too much weight. I weighed like 123 kilogram, the weight on my back, you know. So I mean, like, having that on my back all the time, then I'm gonna keep my back healthy. So we had to remove that, you know, from, I mean, like, to change this system from a back mount system to a side mount system, like, to keep plus hydration. I mean, like, so I can just, like, at least function well after the dive, you know. So at this moment, when, I mean, like, after that, I mean, like, when they were changing the system, I mean, like, and then I got so drained, I was so mentally confused, I was so exhausted. So I thought the guy, I mean, like, he's having a close up on my face. I mean, like, I thought he's filming my death. So I thought the guy is actually, my kids is watching their father death underwater. So all what I thought about, like, I'm gonna just, like, perform what I need to do, and then whatever going to happen is going to happen. So yes. Then I had the second one. Then I had a oceanic baby shark. He was with me for 6 hours till I surfaced, you know. So he kept me company.
Very, very, very hot hands.
Ahmed Gabr, you are officially
Actually,
amazing.
this handshake is actually bent me afterwards. Anyways, I mean, like, I encountered too many things. I mean, like, just before the record and after the record as well. At the beginning, I mean, like, I thought, why am I doing that? I mean, like, people thought I'm crazy. People think I'm just like, I'm an attention seeker. I'm trying to do something or increase my business range. I mean, like, and I had no business back then. I mean, like, I was just an army officer and I wasn't allowed to have any other activity except being in the army, you know? So, and the funniest thing I heard before the record that I'm depressed and I'm trying to suicide, you know, in a very elegant way. I mean, like, I don't know why, whatever. I mean, like, so I had two ways, I mean, like, to respond to all of that, you know. So whether to ignore it completely and then just focus, and then or just focus with telling people how good and how perfect I am. And that wasn't actually none of my agenda at all. 7 years later, just right after my record achievement, there is allegation is been raised doubting too many points in my record. Is doubting this allegation was mainly focusing on the reading of the computer. Computer was not any part of the verification. It was the only agreed measuring methodology, only the rope. Was focusing on the rope incline, was focusing on changing the tag depth during. Guinness World Record opened a big investigation case for 6 months. They contacted me. They contacted the manufacturer of the devices that I've been accused of. They contacted the 3 independent witnesses. They contacted the on-location Guinness World Record adjudicator. And then they sought as well, like, impartial advice from different external bodies away completely from Guinness World Record. I submitted the plan again. Thankfully, I was just still having it, gases and everything. It verified by many agencies. One of them, they wanted to be in the official statement, and Guinness World Records still approving that I'm the world record holder of the deepest scuba dive. 1 year after, I realized, I mean, like, everything was actually different. I mean, like, diving, it's not the same like I was diving. The marine life, the ecosystem is not the same. So I was able to collect 614 divers, and I was able to do the largest underwater cleanup in a single venue. That was 1 year after. Let me ask you a question. Why do you climb the mountain? Why do you climb the mountain? Because there is always a mountain to climb. There is always another challenge. I mean, like, and that was the seed of actually having a company of sustainability company about the single-use plastic. And this is the biggest damage and harm of marine life. I was able to launch my company like 2 years after. It stopped 1 year before the COVID, but it's already launched and I already had some activity. So follow up next year of my plastic project and the coral restoration project as well. There is one movie left, yeah, the other one is 2 minutes and I'm done, so my time is over anyways.
تخيل لو قدرنا نتخلص من البلاستيك في كل المحميات الطبيعية.
تخيل لو قدرنا نحل المشكلة من المصدر قبل ما الحيوانات تبلعها.
أو يتكسر ويتحول لنانو بلاستيك بيلوث أكلنا.
تخيل لو قدرنا نطور المخلفات البلاستيكية لمنتجات عمرها طويل وقيمتها أعلى.
This is my company name.
أنا أحمد جبر، أنا ضابط سابق في القوات المسلحة المصرية، حاصل على لقبين في كتاب جينيس الأرقام القياسية. بعدهم بسنة أخدت رقم ثالث، قدرت إن أنا أجمع 614 دايفر وعملت أكبر عملية تنظيف في قاع البحر.
أنا اسمي عمر سمرة، مغامر ورجل أعمال مصري، أول مصري يصعد إلى قمة جبل إيفرست والقمم السبعة اللي هم أعلى جبل في كل قارة. أنا سمعت عن جبر طبعا قبل ما أقابله، واتضح بسرعة جدا من مقابلتنا لبعض إن إحنا عندنا حاجات كتير قوي مشتركة.
الحياة في البحر بتعلمك إن علاقتك بالبيئة اللي حواليك لازم تبقى علاقة احترام متبادل. حسيت ده بشكل كبير لما نزلت أصعب غطسة ليا 332 متر، لقيت سمكة قرش قررت تسليني لمدة 6 ساعات لحد ما خرجت. حسيت إني محتاج أرد لها الجميل.
فوق الجبل بتشوف كل حاجة صنعناها صغيرة قدام الطبيعة. ده المفروض يبقى حجم تأثير الإنسان على البيئة كلها. حبينا إن إحنا ما نعملش مجرد مبادرة، وإنما نأسس كيان مستدام يحاول إن هو يحل قضية البيئة من خلال 3 محاور أساسية.
جزء إن أنا أمنع المشكلة قبل ما تحصل، وده بيبقى بحملات التوعية. والجزء التاني اللي هو إن أنا أعالج المشكلة اللي هي أوريدي حصلت. الحاجة الأخيرة طبعا إن أنا أبدأ أطلع جيل كامل فاهم إن في مشكلة ممكن تحصل. الإنسان كل يوم بيبقى سبب في إنه يقتل نفسه بالبطيء. الممارسات اليومية الروتينية ممكن تتحول لممارسات بتسمم حياتك. إزازة المية اللي تشربها وترميها في الصحراء أو على الشط تفتكر هتضر حد؟
أنت لو لقيت كيس بلاستيك واقع في بيتك هتشيله، لكن لو السلحفة شافته في المية هتاكله. الطبيعة دايما عندها طريقتها في إنها تتعافى، لكن محتاجين نديها الفرصة تتنفس عشان تعالج نفسها.
Thank you.